This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Welcome back, everyone. It is time once again to look at some of your mail. We're going to go ahead and dive right in. First up is two zines that come to us from Susanne Helmert. Susanne is a veteran of mail time. She has sent stuff in before, but today we have one zine called Small Wonders. The second is called Das Leben ist ein Windhatch. And I'll read you a little of her note, which says, Dear Ted, I have been catching up on your Mailtime videos this week, and I wanted to thank you for all the great work you do on the channel for the photographic community. I love the Mailtime videos. Your honest and constructive feedback encouraged me once more to send you two of the zines I created last year. This first one is called Das Leben ist ein Windhatch, which means life is a breath of wind. I made it in the spring of 2025 when the dandelions began appearing once more in Hamburg. These ordinary yet brilliantly designed flowers inspired me to create a small project that eventually became a zine. Many people think that they need a grand concept, a big budget, lots of time, or travel to faraway places to create something meaningful. This project showed me otherwise. It needed only a few flowers, a camera, and the joy of playing with both. The second zine, Small Wonders, celebrates exactly this. We live in a world that often urges us to seek the big, the loud, the spectacular, headlines and grand gestures to pull our attention outward, promising significance in scale. And yet so much of life unfolds quietly in the margins. The way the morning light touches the forest floor, the shadow drifting across the dog's fur, or tiny footprints in the sand. Small Wonders is an attempt to notice these moments, not as background, but as experiences in their own right. A pause, a breath, a reminder that beauty and meaning are woven into everyday life. These photographs do not tell a linear story, they connect fragments of wonder. They are small because life itself is made of smallness, seconds, glances, and details that slip away if we're not looking. This book is an invitation to slow down, to look closely, and to remember that wonder is never very far away. It waits for us in the ordinary, asking only that we notice. Susanne, these are both very lovely. I love your acknowledgement to the wind on here, and the dandelions is really nicely done. I love the appropriations that are in here when you're using older photographs and the way those kind of come around with the dandelions and the still life concept of it all. It's very well done. You have a vintage look to these, but it's not Photoshop vintage. And I really love your layouts on here when you mix the full bleed with the framed photograph. Very nicely done. Small Wonders is also absolutely cool. First of all, you guys probably didn't catch this in the video, but the cover features a little cutout which opens up to a nest of bees. This is really nicely done, Susanne. You have a really great sense in these compositions to go between things that we recognize as being real, such as the ripples in the water, to things that get more abstract, such as the shadow when you get close up with these details. It's really nicely done. You should be very proud of these. This is a lot different than the work that you sent in last time, which was the collaborative book that you did with your friend. It was all black and white, and it's really cool to see a different side, a new dimension to what you're doing. If you guys are interested in Suzanne's work, I will put a link to her stuff in the show description below this video. You really should check her out. Support your colleagues. I do that with everybody that I feature on here. Susanne, nice work. I really appreciate you sharing. I hope you're proud of these because they are very cool. And you know, speaking of zines, I wanted to let everybody know because I get asked a lot when my next zine workshops are going to be. So if you want to produce a project like some of the stuff you're seeing here, this is a really good opportunity to do so. I've got 2 online workshops, so you can take these from home. They're coming up. I've got one in June and another one starting in September. This is a fun workshop for me to teach. It is project-based and it stretches over the course of a month, so we do 4 weeks. The first 2 weeks, we've got the larger class where we go over publishing concepts, layout, design, pairing, spreads, all that kind of stuff. Week 3 is probably my favorite because we divide into small groups. This is still online, but what we'll do is we'll find a meeting time. We'll meet together as a small group and you'll get some great feedback, not only from me, but also your colleagues. And it's really inspiring because when people come to these workshops, everybody has a wide range of the work that they're doing. So no 2 projects are ever alike. And then week 4, we wrap this up and you can get your zine published. So if you're interested in learning more, I will put a link in the show description below this video and we hope to see you there. All right, so next up, I've got this really cool zine. This is called Wanderland. This comes to us from an Australian photographer, Gavin Libotte. And Gavin sent me 2 postcards, which are really pretty cool. I thought there might be a note on these, but there is not. But I will read you a little of the text from Wanderland, which says, As I wander the streets and beaches of Sydney, I am drawn to the surprising worlds that lie beyond the usual linear perspective. I am compelled to shoot from the level of the street. When I start doing this and adding the elements of flash, I am astonished at the new perspective that it reveals. Where you place the camera has a profound effect on the final image, giving access to the scenes of pure imagination, usually off limits to the passerby. This way of seeing can be applied to life's challenges. When we observe things from alternate angles and points of view, we may uncover hidden information, new possibilities, and fresh perspectives. Gavin, this is extremely well done. I really like your photographic aesthetic with this, and you pretty much described everything that I'm seeing. So a lot of times you hear these terms when we're talking about filmmaking. So somebody's making a film, you talk about high angle and low angle and medium angle. And so it's something that photographers generally don't explore as much of, but I really like the aesthetic of being able to go low angle like this and with the flash. But more importantly is that you have this foreshadowing of what the subject is in each of these shots. These are really well done. I love the aesthetic on these. I think this is very successful, and I think you should be very proud of this. You also have a really cool sense of just revealing things, like this man with the hat sitting behind this rock. And another thing that I love that you're doing is the opening spread has this motif that's established with this woman behind the benches here. This gets revisited later on in the magazine also. So this is really nicely done, Gavin. You should be very proud. I'll link up to Gavin's work below. You guys should check him out. All right, so next up, I've got not one, not two, but 3 books that are produced by a wonderful photographer by the name of Stephen Brown. But real quick, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor this week, who are the always awesome folks over at Squarespace. How easy is it to build an amazing website in a matter of minutes? Squarespace has you covered. It's dead simple. Head over to Squarespace, hit get started. You can start by selecting from an impressive collection of customizable templates, or you can do what I do, build your own. Something unique because, you're not like other websites. Give your site a name. Next, you can build your homepage. We'll start with a few preset layouts just to get us going. Want to sell products like books or prints? Well, you can feature those on your homepage. Create a few more sections if you want. Let's also give it a color palette. There's a whole bunch to choose from, and just get us started. We can change this all later. Next, let's select the typography choices. Welcome to your website. Everything is set up and it's all ready for you to customize. Squarespace is built on Fluid Engine, the next generation of website design. Select Edit, and Fluid Engine allows you to drag, place, and resize any element on the page. You can snap these to a grid, you can make them float on top of one another, you can freeform however you like. You can even preview and adjust how the site looks on either desktop or mobile. The layouts are independent. Of course, you'll want a portfolio for your work. Creating an image gallery is as easy as dropping a folder of images on your web browser. Once uploaded, you can drag to resort, customize the look, and Squarespace writes all of the code for you. Everything just works and it looks fabulous. Want to sell your own prints, books, or zines? Squarespace has the capabilities to not only set up your online store and collect payments, but they also give you all the tools that you're going to need to be successful. Managing shipping and payment options, manage your orders, and engage with your customers. They even give you the tax tools that you need to keep things organized and stay compliant. You should try Squarespace for yourself. It's absolutely free, no credit card required. Just go to squarespace.com/AOP, sign up for that free trial. If you decide Squarespace is right for you, I can save you an additional 10% on your order by using offer code AOP on checkout. That's right, the code is AOP. So stop procrastinating, go build your website today. And I want to give a special shout out and thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. All right, so next up, I've got 3 books here that come to us from Stephen H. Brown. The first one is called SX70 Manipulations. We also have a book called Wrapped, and then one more called Everything in Its Place. Now, Stephen sent these to me, he did these on Blurb, and he just sent them from Blurb, so there's no note in these, but I am going to critique them a little bit, and I think we'll start with the SX70 Manipulations. So for those of you who don't remember the Polaroid SX70, and this has been a while since the actual proper film that you could do this was made, unless there's been a change, I have not really kept up with the Polaroid world. But the SX70 was an instant film camera, and the emulsion was such before it dried, you could take a spoon and you could actually do manipulations over the images. And so you get these really cool abstracts that are fun to play with. And I think this book is really well done. I love the layout. I like the simplicity of it. You just have the Polaroids in the middle, and your sequencing is actually pretty good in here. I think of the 3 books, and this is what we'll come back to in a second, this may have your best sequencing in it, but let's move on to, I'm going to do Everything in Its Place, which I really do like, and I think your photography is excellent. And the only thing that I would actually critique on here and urge you to do more of is look at your work a little more holistically and how it works together. So you have 3 sections in here. The first is urban black and white, followed by urban color. Then we have nature black and white. Then it is followed by nature color. And I think this scheme is something that you do not only in this book, but also Wrapped when we get to it, where you're going to do all your black and white work together, and then we move on to the color. There's nothing wrong with this, but I just think as a reader and as somebody who's interested in photography and is interested in your work, because it is quite good, that I would look for ways of maybe mixing the black and white and the color a little more together so it's a little less rigid in terms of the way it's organized. I think that and I talk about this in my zine class a lot, as soon as the reader kind of figures out the plot there, that then you start to lose interest a little bit. Your work is good, and I want them to keep their interest. The other thing that I would note, and again, this is nothing against the photographs, but you use space on each spread here to actually title these. I think this might be a case where they're generally descriptive in nature, and I think I would rather just see an index with thumbnails for the titles at the end. It would keep your layout a lot cleaner and keep the text off of the page, which really does nothing to add to the layout. But anyway, those are nitpicky things, but the work in here is very good. I love your nature shots especially. You have a nice way of kind of going back and forth between abstract. The compositions are good. I really don't have a preference of the color versus the black and white. I kind of want to see how they act together, and I think this is maybe a next step for you as a photographer, to look into those things. The final book is called Wrapped, and I think Wrapped is very cool too, and it deals with the whole concept of things that are wrapped in a sheet. And it's actually pretty quirky. I think you hold interest throughout the whole thing. A lot of these are found, if not all of them, in various scenes. And I think it's a really cool concept for a book. Again, you go all black and white and then you shift over to color. And I think it might be kind of cool to mix those in a little bit. A lot of photographers have a fear of doing that. And I'm not really sure why, but I think it would work and to satisfy what you're trying to communicate much better, actually. The only last piece of advice I'm going to give you, and before I get there, notice how clean this layout is because you don't have titles on everything. I would rather see the work. I think that makes it speak. Last thing I'm going to say, I know you did these through Blurb, and there's nothing wrong with that. Blurb's actually a pretty good option for print on demand. However, Blurb does things like they put their logo in the back and they make you pay to take it off. And I understand that for doing this and just sending it to me, that's probably the cost well saved. However, it has a look to it that's a little less professional than I think it could. You don't normally see the printer's name in a book. The other thing is Blurb likes to put stickers on the backs and puts them right over your photographs. And that's something that would just, these are little tiny nitpicky things. And of course, I know it requires an extra step of getting your books and fixing them and sending them off, but I think you've done a good job on these. Those are the only things I would critique on. And the only reason that I'm giving that critique is that I really like your work. And I think that you could just go that extra 5% and make these over the top good. Anyway, nicely done. I will link up to everybody's work in the show description below. And man, good work today, guys. I am liking what I'm seeing. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments. I will catch you guys in the next video. Until then, later.